So let's talk about the Browns first here. They're going up against the Steelers. We thought there was going to be a swap of all these Steelers players who were resting. TJ Watt, Ben Roethlisberger, they're going to be playing in this game. But we were like, oh, we have Denzel Ward. We have some guys who are coming off of either COVID or injury that will be ready to play in the playoffs. That was until today. Today has been a bummer for the Browns. Kevin Stefanski out. Joel Bitonio out. KhaDarel Hodge out. We also have
Vernon out.
Yeah, Olivier Vernon out on injured reserve.
Right.
A lot of hits to the Browns, and we don't know if it's going to stop there. We don't know if there's more to come. Huge bummer leading into this game. So, Drew, I'll go to you first here. We started the day of saying, what's going to make this game unique? But I think we know that all of these changes are going to make this game unique. Do the Browns pull it together? Like, do they have enough players who are going to be in this game to make it competitive?
Well, what's going to make it unique is that the Cleveland Browns are in the playoffs for the first time since we were in high school, right? So this was always going to be unique, right? For the first time in my adult life, I am not prepared for the draft here, and it is January, right? The draft is in 4 short months. I don't know what I'm going to do. I don't know how I'm going to have the time to prep and be ready for this podcast. So to all of our listeners, I apologize. I am not ready to talk draft here from the guy who claims to be always ready to talk draft, and I thank the Cleveland Browns for that. But in terms of this particular game, it is super helpful to have a guy like Denzel Ward coming back. I'll start with the positive piece there, right? How many times did loser Rudolph throw it up in the air and they had Claypool go up and essentially get it, right? I counted 4 times that happened. I think one time even James Washington was able to make something like that happen, right? Their whole offense was essentially jump balls down the sideline, right? And it was pretty effective against the Browns' number 2, 5, and 6 cornerbacks, I believe. I believe I have that right. So you get 1, 2, and 3 back potentially, and I think you're going to see slightly improved play in the secondary. Ronnie Harrison has another week to get right. He was still hobbled a little bit with his previous injury. It's to his shoulder, but he wasn't playing the whole time out there. You saw a lot of Carl Joseph in that game. So you give him 1 more week. You give Denzel time to come back. I think that defense, at least the secondary, is going to be a little better. But I think the good news sort of ends there. I think the injury to Olivier Vernon is the one, at least on that side of the ball, that is going to be really that one's really tough. I mean, this guy had played himself into another probably final contract. He's 31. He's going to put up over 10 sacks this year. He's been just a monster the last 8 games, and to not have him is a really big deal. There's very minimal depth at that particular position. And I think that's going to be a massive loss. So I'm looking at that. And then on the other side of the ball, you've already sort of mentioned it. I'll let Eric get into some of that in terms of what Joel Bitonio means. KhaDarel Hodge, he's played well. I think this is going to be, unfortunately, too much to overcome when you talk about like unique games. The Cleveland Browns won't have their head coach. They won't have like the vast, like 90% of their offensive coaches can't participate in practice. They have their offensive coordinator, and they have their quality control coach. Eric, is that right?
I think Stump Mitchell's still there, the running backs coach.
Stump's still there. Okay, so they have like 2 coaches. They have 2 position coaches and the coordinator. They have they're missing the vast majority. The head coach obviously helps on the offense. It's going to be really unfortunate. They probably won't even be able to practice much ahead of this game. That'll be 3 weeks in a row. So their backs are up against it, and I'm not going to fault them if they come up short. It's been an incredible season, and I really think this team is poised for something special here very, very shortly. I think this might be our decade.
Eric, how do you think the game plan changes as we're going into this 3rd round against the Steelers.
Yeah, I've been thinking about that today. You just think about what happened last year. I know I don't want to bring up too many bad memories about how, with the first 10, 15 plays were scripted with Freddie Kitchens, and then things kind of went haywire. I'm guessing that Stefanski's probably going to want a, specific, certain types of plays, at least to start the game. I have more faith in Alex Van Pelt than I do with Freddie Kitchens, but I don't know. I mean, I'm curious to know what they were, talking about on a week-to-week basis. Hey, 3rd and 1, at the 30-yard line, we usually do so-and-so. 3rd and 7, 4th and 7 like they had last week. 4th and 7, we're going to go for it. We're going to try to kick it. There's so many in-game management decisions that are going to come down to Alex Van Pelt. Stefanski didn't always make the right decisions, but he made more right decisions than not. I mean, 11-5 kind of speaks for itself. So, it's a wing and a prayer at this point, but you got to roll with what Alex Van Pelt can do. He's worked with quarterbacks. Obviously, he's known to work with. I think it was Andy Dalton and also Aaron Rodgers. One very good quarterback and one a good quarterback. So, I'm hoping that he can kind of communicate with Baker Mayfield, kind of the game plan and what we can do to kind of keep their defense in check, because obviously they're going to bring back a lot of starters, especially TJ Watt on the edge, and he's going to be disruptive. Obviously Joel Bitonio being out. I don't know who's going to play left guard because I think Nick Harris is out. So we're going to have some tough time handling Stefan Tuitt and
Cam Hayward. He's coming back too.
Yep,
yeah.
That's going to be tough on the inside. And I heard recently that Jedrick Wills was with Hollywood Higgins drag racing, so hopefully he's not suspended. We kind of need him out on the field. That would be nice. He can be suspended 1 week after the season ends. How about that? We need both our left and right tackles to play exceptionally well. So yeah, it's going to be a tall order. It's so ironic because a lot of the talk last week was how Stefanski was holding back Chubb because he wanted to save him. I think Stefanski's going to communicate that to Alex Van Pelt, but exactly how he utilizes them. Is it going to be screens? Is it going to be up the gut? Is it going to be off tackle? Is it going to be counters? I don't know. But I think he's going to have a good number of touches in this game. But as far as, now that KhaDarel's out, DPJ's likely not going to play with his concussion. That only leaves Jarvis and Hollywood, assuming he's good to go. And they're going to have to bring out probably that one guy, number 84 from a couple weeks ago. Jamarcus Bradley, I guess.
Bradley, yeah. I don't remember his first name.
I don't know. We'll see. It's definitely a tall order. But we're gonna watch it regardless. The line opened at 4.5. It's just gonna get bigger, I think, as the week goes on. And unfortunately, I'd be surprised if there were no other close contacts or any other positive tests. I hope there's no more, but I'd be surprised if there were no more. So it's gonna be a very difficult one. What I will say is thank you to Mr. What's his name that always rips on Colin Coward. I just said his name. Rips on Baker Mayfield. Is that Baker Mayfield has the opportunity to show that he is, in fact, a Maserati this week, and he can cement his status as a franchise quarterback, not only to Browns fans, but as to all throughout the league. Not only winning a game in Pittsburgh, but with a depleted offense, defense, and coaching units. It would be fantastic. It's unlikely, but even if he plays a good game, I think that's going to show a lot of fans and media alike that he's the real deal. He didn't beat Baltimore, but I think he earned a lot of respect that night. So he's got a good chance of doing that. But it's going to be a tough one out there in Pittsburgh on Sunday.
So was that Maserati reference before or after the drag racing citation?
He said
that the reference was from like the 2018 draft.
Right. He said
yeah.
Baker was
he
a
said
Mazda.
He's a Mazda, not a Maserati. And Sam Darnold was a Maserati, he said, yes.
Okay. Yeah, so I saw the citation was at 9:30 in the morning, so not exactly like a 4 a.m. drag race. Not too bad. 9:30 in the morning. I wonder if we should update the Hollywood Higgins nickname. Maybe we some sort of ode to the Fast and the Furious. Maybe a Hollywood Diesel
Nice.
nickname there. I think he's going to turn on the afterburner or. So many puns we could go to.
Right.
Yeah. Turn on the NOS and score a touchdown. Love it.